It seems impossible until it's done. That's a quote by Nelson Mandela. Hello viewers, and welcome to yet another episode of the Environment Dialogue series right here on UCTV, where we get to unpack different topics, different discussions in regard to the environment, in regard to clean energy, in regard to climate action and climate change at large. And today we shall be diving deep into a discussion on clean energy and the climate transition happening right here in Uganda. So not so long ago, the Secretary General of the United Nations released a report that was digging deep into the different things that are happening globally, and we are no different from that report, because he explained that many Africans are not accessing electricity, and yet we have the highest potential of renewable energy. So tonight we shall be discussing how best can we dive into the renewable energy era and how best we can contribute to this. My name is Kkungu Samantha, your host for today. Joining us today are amazing gentlemen who are here to discuss and break down some of the critical issues in regard to climate change in Uganda today. And just right here next to me is Mr. Kigongo Robert, who is an environmentalist, an author and writer. And for some of you that have read some of his publications, you can clearly see the passion and the wisdom that is put to some of those. And also he's a co-founding member of Youth Coalition for SDGs and a strong climate advocate. And over to the extreme right is Mr. Deo Mbabazi, who is a peace, justice and community development activist. He's the executive director of the Community Change for Transformation Initiative. And these two amazing gentlemen have amazing insights in regard to today's discussion. I'll begin with Mr. Kigongo Robert to please go into depth and tell us who exactly it is, what I've not expounded on, and he can also expound more on the different initiatives that he's been pushing forward in regard to climate action. Over to you, Mr. Kigongo.
Thank you so much, Samantha. I was very honored when you started with the quote from Nelson Mandela. The UN has reminded us that Nelson Mandela's legacy is now our responsibility. I say Nelson Mandela's legacy is our full responsibility. Thus, I've written in the Daily Monitor and the Mail and Guardian and in the Daily Euro. But also, Nelson Mandela stated very clearly, it's all our duty to protect this environment. And protecting this environment starts with a just transition.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Robert Kigongo. Over to you, Mr. Deo Gracious. Please tell us who you really are, what are you doing, what are some of the achievements that you've done in regard to climate action, especially here in Uganda, the grassroots communities. For all I know, you've worked with quite a number of young people and your impact is deeply felt. Please elaborate more on that.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Dear viewers, you're welcome. I'm Mbabazi Deo Oburye, as the host has already introduced me. I'm a peace, justice and climate development activist, and I happen to be the executive director of Community Change and Transformation Initiative, a grassroots community-based organization operating in Mpigi district, headquartered in Kayabwe Town Council, just around the equator. First of all, it is about what you have learned from history, from the current, that can inspire somebody to take action on what is happening. And me as a community development activist, environment is key in our all initiatives. And so we are engaging the people, the young people, even children in schools, including adults, to take action in green jobs, in taking initiatives, in green livelihoods, so that we come to an issue of closing this talk, climate change. it has become a disaster, and it is us to be in charge. Why should I say that? I do not need to go away from what the secular NGOs talk about, but I also want to bring the perspective of the church's role on climate. Do you know how? It is the mandate of everyone. If you believe in that the earth is created not being owned by us, that we must take care of it. Therefore, we must stand up and be charged to change the current crisis. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Deo, for that elaboration. And clearly we can see that climate action is a collective responsibility. It's not about the young people, it's not about the old, but it's for us all, and it's an initiative that we need to push forward for and make this planet a better place to live in. And to begin with you, Mr. Deo Gracious, please tell us what inspired you to set up this initiative. As an executive director, I believe you have the passion for what you're doing. What drives that passion? What are some of the experiences that pushed you to start this initiative and to have impact in the community of Mpigi?
Thank you so much, Samantha. When we started Community Change and Transformation Initiative, it was not out of reading what is happening in the community, what is happening in Uganda, like poverty, lack of education, lack of necessities or basic needs for a family, a parent take care of their children. But it was, I am the eyewitness. And the inspiration also comes from my own parents, my father, and who at the age I was making 14 years of age. And he told me that the best thing you can give to God and to the planet is always to stand on the side of the oppressed. I was 14 years. I had just completed my primary 7 and I was joining senior 1, and he said the best thing you can do to God and to humanity is to stand on the position of the oppressed. And Community Change and Transformation Initiative is focused on that. The poverty levels, the illiteracy levels, and the environmental degradation. The world, the earth, is being oppressed by humans. And when I recall that urge from my father, I think it was something like came as a prophet, a prophecy that I should walk in to take that mandate. And therefore, in Mpigi, how I came in, I was the eyewitness of what was happening. First of all, I'm a trained teacher, and I was teaching. And the organization that brought me to take control, to help in the education setting, I could meet very many young people who were pregnant. This is when you go on our website and you ask in our community where we operate from, students were pregnant, they were teenage mothers. Then I asked what is happening. You know, there was child neglect. And then community change came in to take in charge of trying to educate the community, to educate the citizens, their responsibilities, parents, how they should take care, and so much more. The environment was worsening. The environment, people are cutting trees because, as you know, development comes with consequences, and the consequences is felt by the earth. And in turn, it is us humans that suffer. So I came to also add my impact with other activists, with other passionate people like Kigongo, like Samantha, and the rest, so that we be responsible to this planet called Earth. The problem of degrading the environment that has caused the poverty, abject poverty, and unemployment, it's because people have taken the earth, land as theirs. And when you take something as yours, which is not, because me, I'm a Christian, I was raised in a Catholic family, and I know that God says the land is mine, you are tenants, And he says somewhere in Genesis, I'm not preaching, but I'm giving you that we must take responsibility as stewards to ensure that we fulfill the will of God. God says in Genesis somewhere in 2:15 that I have put you in the Garden of Eden to take care of it. So we are not to destroy the land. We are not to destroy, contaminate water. We are not to contaminate air. We are not to pollute what God has entrusted us with. We need to use it profitably, responsibly, to take care of us from this generation and other children, the posterity. But what we are doing, we are grabbing what belongs to God into our hands, and we start fighting, and we pollute and we degrade. That is the main cause. The cause is about people's immorality on the planet.
I totally agree with you, Mr. Deo, on that. And we can clearly see that you've highlighted some important issues, that the fact that Mother Nature belongs to us, and if we are looking at living in it for the years to come, we are going to have to protect it like it's our baby. And over to you, Mr. Kigongo. Just not so long ago, we've had different activities, and we can see that the country, Uganda at large, is pushing forward for renewable energy in the different forms. Would you please tell us, first of all, what drives your passion for writing, especially about the environment and climate? I believe Africans are said to be dumb to an extent that we do not read most of the things. We wait for people to do the reading for us, which is quite wrong. We have an intelligent gentleman here that writes, and if you've read some of his publications, I'm sure you'd be inspired. What inspires you to write about the climate, to write about environment, to spread this knowledge and to the young children? Because I believe you've worked with quite a number of young people, and their impact is felt in different schools. For some of the secondary schools out there that have been able to experience some of your writings, how do you do that? What has inspired, and how do you think this can create impact or cause a shift in the climate transition?
I was inspired by the late Pope Francis through his book or ecclesiastical release called Laudato Si. Laudato Si is care for our own humanity, our own home, the only home we can call, repeat. I was inspired by the late Pope Francis through his release called Laudato Si. I read it and I gave it a lot of time. So that was the beginning of my writing. When I read it, I got a conviction deriving from his very, very own writings, and that's what inspired me to write about climate change. I wanted to amplify his message, and I did not stop at that. I went into action. I've been concocted into other platforms like the Laudato Si clubs implementation that is being implemented by every Catholic archdiocese, Kampala, the Western, Ankole, Acholi. They all have these clubs, and we visited these clubs, like the Laudato Si clubs, and they are doing very, very amazing things. So I was inspired by the work of these young people. I went there thinking that I'm the one who is going to contribute to them, but they ended up actually contributing to me. So that was one of the key motivation points for me to write about environment and climate change. But you realize what Pope Francis was exactly telling us, it's not about he himself and the church, it's about us. It's about our own existence. Climate change is an existential threat to our existence, so we must care to protect our environment and all other related values and principles that bring us together as humanity. So that was my main point. But the message of Pope Francis was also amplified by the UN in the recent concluded General Assembly, whereby the Secretary General came out and gave a very historical and remarkable speech. The key highlight of that speech was clean energy is the future. No government, no industry, no media, nobody is going to stop it. It is the future. And it is beneficial to us in 3 ways: the economics, the security, and the access. So clean energy is actually creating many jobs. It is promoting economic growth. There are lots of young people that we work with that are making briquettes, and they are making money from briquettes, earning while saving the environment from greenhouse gases. There are many young people who are into climate spaces, making money, but also saving the environment. Many of them are into carbon sequestration, carbon markets. Others are into ecosystem services. Others are into biodiversity conservation, but they are making money. So there is economics. It is one of the benefits. The Secretary General also emphasized it is now our opportunity. This is our opportunity. There is a challenge of climate change, but it is also an opportunity to leverage on it to earn.
Yes.
And renewable energy is the avenue from earning from this challenge. So there is security. Every country has enough access, enough water, enough winds, enough resources to generate sufficient energy. So there is security and also access. Renewable energies can be access to even the most remote areas. Where I come from, deep in Masaka, there are solar panels at every household. They were distributed by some NGO that came and supplied them. So there is access, it can reach everywhere. Surprisingly, to date, some parts, they don't even have electricity. So there is access to renewable energy. So these 3 beneficial advantages, we must leverage on it. It's an opportunity, they represent the future.
Thank you very much. You've highlighted security, the economics of it, and also access. And as we go into and dive into this interesting discussion, we are going to kind of explore more of how can we increase the access to this renewable energy. Because I understand that there are certain areas that are still stuck with the use of the different kinds of fossil fuels. So how are we going to increase this access, and what role can the people of Uganda play in achieving clean energy and a just climate transition? And let's have a short break and we shall be back.
UCTV, good news for all.
Tiene que soñar.
Hello and welcome to UCTV. Welcome to Connect with Mary.
You're the Alpha and the Omega.
The Catholic television. I'm Sunday Gloria of Watch with UCTV News.
We need people to pay for content.
Bernardo Silva, Matheus Nunes, and Haaland!
Swings it across to Christie.
UCTV, good news for all.
Are you 18 to 35 years old? Live your life to the fullest with the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account. With the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account, you get a free ATM card, no monthly charges, free bank drafts for school fees payments, and attractive interests. And that's not all. Enjoy access to financial literacy, entrepreneurship opportunities, and bank loans. Opening the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account is your ticket to a brighter future. For more information, please visit any of the nearest branches today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank, agribusiness solar loan of up to 50 million shillings for a solar-powered irrigation system on your farm. Enjoy a grace period tailored to your cash flows and loan offer amounts from 100,000 up to 50 million Uganda shillings with flexible loan periods up to 60 months. Apply for a Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan through our branches, agents, and enjoy a fixed interest rate of just 1.7% per month. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan today and watch your farming dreams come to life. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
Support the Uganda Catholic Television with MTN Momo. Step 1. Dial *165*3 hash. Step 2. Enter merchant code 180572. Step 3. Enter any amount from 500 Uganda shillings. Step 4. Pay using MTN mobile money. Step 5. Enter PIN code and send. Step 6. You will receive a confirmation text for supporting the Uganda Catholic Television.
Do more with Center Mobile app. Move with your bank and pay water bills, school fees, pay light, withdraw or deposit money, pay for DSTV or GoTV, pay for Star Times, open app accounts, get loans, and so much more. Download the Center Mobile app on Google Play Store or App Store now. For more information, call our toll-free line or chat with us on WhatsApp. Centenary Bank. Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome back from the break, dear viewers, and we are still continuing and diving deep into this interesting discussion on clean energy and climate transition right here in Uganda. By 2040, Africa could generate 10 times much more energy than it's generating at the moment. That was stated by the Secretary General of the United Nations. And what does this mean to us? We are not leveraging the renewable energy that we have in the country at the moment. And we still have a bigger role to play. And the amazing gentlemen right here next to me are taking us deeper into some of the practical actions that we can take to achieve a just climate transition and clean energy. But we are also expounding more on the access bit. Why are we having certain areas not maximizing the renewable energy that we have in Uganda? Why are we still having people using the different fossil fuels available right now? So over to you, Mr. Kigongo. Why do you think we are not yet achieving the maximum use of renewable energy? And how can we increase this access to the people that are not using or tapping into the renewable energy era?
And one, it's awareness. Our people aware. 2, it is the political will. Are the governments willing to scale it up? That's where we must start from. So once we collect the political will and then create more awareness, recently the UN released the report that its report are not read, and that was very, very upset. Now that's at the level of the UN. But we publish every day, but how many people read? This information is available, but how many people read? Now that comes back to some of the points that my colleague Mr. Oburye highlighted, illiteracy. So we must work on these underlying factors like literacy. We must work on the mindset change. People are still stuck into charcoal, into using wood fuel. Yeah. They don't know that renewables like briquettes are cheaper. Electricity is actually cheaper. Gas may be cheaper than the woods that you are using. These contribute to the deforestation. Yet, if we can choose an alternative like briquettes, we need clean cooking stoves. How many people can access clean cooking stoves? If you don't have a clean cooking stove, what's the alternative? There are modernized kitchens that we can use where you can put your briquettes and cook your food. And trust me, even if it burns, they can get boiled up. Electricity can serve the same purpose. So what we need is the political will to subsidize on some of the things that can accelerate access to the renewables. Now, like electricity, subsidizing the cost of electricity can help even the lowest person with the lowest standards of living to use electricity, but also making sure that there is access, a wider coverage of electricity. Some of the initiatives that we've done, we've gone out to communities and taught them how to make briquettes, but still even after teaching them, how many use them at home? That's where the awareness comes in. We have tried to intensify awareness through the digital platforms, but I think we need to come down to the local communities involving leaders into this, because they listen more to their leaders. We need the cultural institutions on board. We need the churches that still have the trust to really intensify these programs. I appreciate the Catholic Church through the Laudato Si, but the Laudato Si is one component. We need more into the parishes to have these, to integrate these programs. So I think that's where the gap is, political will from the governments. There are some initiatives. For example, we have a solar power park called Zabo Solar Park. It's 25 megawatts. It's one of the best and leading producer of solar energy in Eastern Central Africa. They manufacture from solar, then to the grid, then from the grid it's supplied to the entire country. And they are doing it in Mubende. They are coming up with more solar parks. They are coming up to Amuru, and have been involved in some of these projects, how it's running. There are more investors that coming in, so we need to have more foreign direct investments investing in renewables, because they are now unstoppable. But there are also other projects that are in pipeline at grassroots. There are those into biogas at a local level. You know, even cow dung can make good biogas for you to use at home. There is a lady where I stay in town who is producing actually biogas from the waste, from the cattle waste. We have FICO, it can produce very good biogas. So we must leverage on that to have a biocircular economy through bioenergy.
Yes, indeed. You mentioned something very interesting. Someone once said that if you want to hide something from Africans, put it into writing. So when you mentioned many of the publications that have not been read, it's quite relatable. And it's interesting to see the different strides that the country and Africa at large is pushing to achieve renewable energy in the region. Because you've mentioned the different solar plants being put up, that's a very good initiative, and I believe there are more to come. The briquettes, yes.
Zabo is in Gomba, Kablasoke Gomba. So at least the people from Gomba, part of my roots, my ancestral roots are from Gomba. So probably maybe
the people from Gomba enjoying the use of the solar energy. And I believe also because it's cheaper than the current, the non-renewable energy, so it's obviously easy to adapt with.
One, they are bankable, by the way. Imagine when your electricity has gone off, the hydroelectricity, solar remains stable. So they are very bankable and reliable.
Yes, thank you very much for that. And Mr. Deo Gracious, with the strides that we are pushing as a country and as Africa at large, what do you think is still the gap in the initiatives that are being put forward? Because we are seeing the solar plants, but not to say the solar plants are existent, though we still have issues with efficiency, especially for most of the renewables. You'll find that we want to divert from using charcoal, which most of the people use, yeah? Because someone can't afford to cook beans on gas for that long, it's going to be expensive in the long run. So how do you think we are, what are the gaps that are in between the strides that we are pushing towards a renewable energy era?
Thank you so much, moderator, and my friend Samantha, for that very question. I concur with Mr. Kigongo Robert, how the people, government is trying to reach out to the community through the renewable initiatives as mentioned. But I want to tell the public who are viewing us right now that even the United Nations, even governments, and very many NGOs and individuals are treating symptoms of climate change. They are just treating symptoms. They have not gone deep to find what is the cause of climate change, environmental degradation. When the Secretary General mentioned that nobody is going to stop renewable energy, true, it is going, but what is, who gave birth, who was pregnant for the renewable energy initiatives? You need to look at who is going to take care of that baby. Was Uganda part of the pregnancy? Was Africa part of the pregnancy that we are now going to be pregnant of renewable energy, and then we bring initiatives, we take care of that, of these children we are going to give birth in Africa? So now, African nations, through they are part of the Paris Agreement, where all nations are equal and they must be responsible. But Africa has created less harm onto this planet called the Earth. Europe, America, and other developed nations, they have relied heavily to be what they are. Some call themselves G7, some call themselves G20, because of fossil fuels, because of minerals industries that have caused all this harm that is leading to climate change. 200 years ago, plus, Europe has heavily invested in fossils. Now, Africa, I want you to get me clearly, viewers, that Africa, after our students, our children, our nations have started identifying oil, minerals that can also lift our economy. Now a pregnancy that was impregnated from somewhere is coming, that we have to give birth to renewable energy. Nobody is stopping renewable energy. That is one. I support that. But the cause, people are talking solutions based on science, technology, which is coming, because that is science, that is technology. That is what gives birth to these initiatives for renewable energy. But the main cause, I want to take you back. Me, when I look at some of the things, I also look at the divine way. From Noah's floods to Elijah's drought to famine in Egypt, that was climate change. And what was the cause? A human being. How? Disobedience, immorality. I want you to understand why we need to look into ourselves. Climate change, to take action is at an individual level. How do I treat God's creation? How am I going to treat the water? If I am using a polythene bag after eating what is in, where should I dump it? So it takes a person to start thinking and taking an action that will really resonate to the will of God. That I have given you the world, the earth, the planet. Use it, till it, let it feed you, but take care of it. If I open a water bottle, I drink the water therein, which was created by God, and I throw away a plastic bottle anywhere, it is me concerned. So for me, I think, and what I believe in, the pregnancy of renewable energy should be carried by every person. To transit from activities that man has made to lead where we are today, where we are heading, global warming, it takes an individual. Well, Africa as a nation, we contribute 4% on global gas emission. 96, it's Europe, China, America, because they're the ones that are utilizing the raw materials they get from Africa and take them and industrialize themselves and develop. So 96% of gas emission is caused by Europe, America, China, all developed nations. And for us, the vulnerable people are suffering. But now, what should we do? When I emphasize the church, faith should meet government. The church, one thing is that, who is this people failing to implement a policy? Who is this person, this ministry, this president that is failing to put in much investment in renewable energy? Because what we need now is investment, enough investment in the renewable sector.
Totally agree with you.
And now, who is responsible? Why are these people not doing it? Corruption, misallocation of funds, embezzlement, land grabbing, all those. But where do they belong? They belong to our churches. They belong to mosques. 85% of Uganda's population are Christians. They are Christians. But they are the majority again in the government in these ministries. So can they look back as children of God, where it says take care of the earth I have given to you, so that they can allocate enough funds and implement? Because my person from Kabale district in Ruwaya sub-county in a deep village may not be able to get access to some of the initiatives, products, but at least if the departments and the church are connected, the government and the church are connected on issues of climate change, they will reach grassroots.
And that's almost exactly what Mr. Robert Kigongo mentioned, that we all have an important role, the church, the government, and as much, in fact, the Secretary General himself emphasized that the economy and science are playing a role, but what we're still lacking is the push from the government, the people implementing these policies. Because, as you mentioned, climate change is not from now. It has been happening. It's just that with development comes more and more effects. So there are different strides in regard to that, and you've really shed more light on that. But even as we go into this discussion, you talked about a pregnancy, which Africa is birthing, because it's a collective responsibility. You're going to take a bottle of water, you're going to dump it. Someone else is going to carry the dustbin, take it for recycling. So you find that,
yes, that
either way, regardless of who is causing more, because we can also see the Western side taking responsibility for some of their actions from the different financing. In fact, $2 trillion investment in renewable energy. We are talking about that. And one of the things is, how do we push forward? How do we leverage science? How do we use the governments? How do we use the different institutions to curb this whole thing, a collective responsibility. But again, from Mpigi, I want to take us back to Mpigi, where your initiative is based. What are some of the practical ways you think we can increase the use of renewable energy and have a just climate transition within Mpigi, to begin with Mpigi? Because I believe from an entire country starts impact from a society.
Wow.
What can your initiative as the executive director commit to achieving clean energy transition?
Thank you so much, Samantha. And the viewers, I just want to mention, to correct somehow, that Africa is going to take care of a child of renewable transition and new initiatives which we did not carry. That's what I wanted. It is carried by somebody and brought to us, and now you nurse this child. But there is less investment, less input, less care. How Africa can really take care of that. One, the 2 trillion is generated out of initiatives or projects or programs that have caused climate change. Let me give you an example. Norway used the fossil fuels and they used that money to, now they are funding renewable initiatives, renewable energy initiatives. I get my point. Now what I'm bringing is that if we are given this baby, renewable energy, the most important thing is to let the grassroots aware that I have a responsibility to take care of. But how? I need to be educated. I need to be supported. You cannot stop a woman from using firewood if you have not provided an alternative. In Kayabwe, what we are doing, even the briquettes Mr. Kigongo is talking about, we are looking into another innovation about briquettes. Because when you are making briquettes, you burn this bio-waste to create carbon. But now in Kayabwe, we are in partnership with Buffalo University from the United States of America, whereby we are using aerobic. We are trying to do experiments on using aerobic fermentation. Can we try to create carbon without burning? So we are in those stages. We are getting papyrus reeds, we are getting sawdust, we are getting all wastes, and trying to create carbon without burning to create carbon. That is an innovation initiative that is happening in Kayabwe right now. We have a livelihood and technology education center. Under our technology center, we are creating what we call sustainable dressing. Sustainable dressing in a sense that people, like we are now looking at children first and women. Sustainable dressing, our youth are making dresses, and then for you come, you pick a design you want, you sign, you take it, you wear, after 2 weeks or a month, you return it back, you take another one. For us, we shall wash. So we are trying to reduce the waste. This is, don't get surprised. We are doing this. So the Sustainable Dressing Initiative is community change and transformation initiative project that we are working on in Kayabwe Town Council right now. If I admire Kigongo's jacket, we make these jackets, or we make trousers, or we make dresses. Then for you, you come and pay a little. You take, you come, you take another one, so that one, we reduce on your expenditure. Instead of buying a cloth at 50,000, you pay 5,000, wear it for a month, return it back, take another design, a new fashion. That is what we are looking at, because when you look at the industry, tailoring industry, dressing industry, you find that very many wastes, even carbon, even everything, are from that industry. So we are trying to do that initiative, among others. So in closing that, I am looking at one way. Should Africa abandon their fossil oils? Can they be guided how to use them profitably, responsibly, to create income that will build infrastructure for sustainable energy? Instead of attacking Africa, maybe, because I know Kigongo always say, stop oil, we have oil now. Should we stop mining oil? because it will be used in any way that is against the climate charter? No. Can Uganda be supported to use oil profitably, responsibly, to build infrastructure, to generate income that will support and build renewable energy systems?
One, I want to correct my colleague about fossil fuels. We have an ongoing project, that project called ECOP. One, the oil is going to France and China. So literally, it is not for Uganda. Alternatively, Uganda should have a refinery. So this pipeline will be spilling, will be passing through our water springs, land where we grow food. So literally, the environmental hazards are big. Yes, there is an economic return of the percentage Uganda will be getting, but is it?
Is it worth?
What is it worth? So that's where the issue is. I don't know if you read their environmental impact report. It's lacking, it has gaps. So that's the challenge. Still, the oil is not coming to you. It will go to Europe, and the money out of that oil will go into the hands of the few who already have, thus promoting gross inequalities as it is. But renewables, my colleague projected it as something that has been imposed on us, but this is something for us. When I use briquettes instead of firewood,
oil, gas,
I'm saving myself from cutting that tree that gives me oxygen, that regulates my oxygen, that regulates the air that I breathe in, that gives me the food,
herbs,
that gives me the medicine. So it is my own benefit. It is not actually an impose on me.
I want to be clear, it is not an impose. I didn't say it has been imposed on us. We have been given this baby to nurture, to help grow, that is trying to create initiatives against climate change. But we need investment. We need to know what to do. Individuals, grassroots people do not know. That's why I said, you in the government, in the policy dialogues, you know how it has come. But is my people from Rwanda, from Kabera Maido, aware of what is happening?
And that's just as he began, he mentioned awareness, especially to the grassroots communities, which is very important. And you can see different initiatives, at least for most of the initiatives that we have in Uganda today. Youth Go Green, Environmental Hub, and all the different initiatives.
Recently, people are advocating for planting trees. People drained wetlands and started planting trees. Those trees will again be cut. After being cut, they will build infrastructure, houses and schools and factories. Are you seeing that? That's it. And then when we are talking of individual literacy, individual learning, getting education, we are talking about compatibility with Mother Earth. How am I treating my earth? How am I going to get ushered into renewable energy systems, renewable energy initiatives?
And I think in regard to that, Mr. Kigongo can kind of expound what other practical ways we can have to achieve a just transition, because we have mentioned transition in quotes. It's not something about stopping immediately, but we are finding ways of adapting to climate change. How do we do that?
We are at a stage of climate adaptation. I think we feel the stage of mitigation
and
resilience. So in adaptation, we are looking at nature-based solutions for climate adaptation. We are looking at leveraging on nature-based solutions into carbon sequestration, into opportunities for carbon markets, into biodiversity conservation. We are looking at projects in biodiversity conservation like beekeeping, among others, that can generate money into people's pockets, but also saving our environment. We are looking at ecosystem services. We are looking at watershed services where people can benefit from that. So the transition is happening gradually. It is not a backflip or a flip over. So it is happening and we must embrace it. What we've done under the FAO is to go into the young generation. This generation is already spoiled. We've gone into schools to engage students, secondary students, into nature conservation, into environmental protection, So they are now becoming the ambassadors.
Yeah.
We are bringing a new generation because they are the biggest stakeholders of the future. So we want them to take that initiative. The new curriculum, I think, gives them an opportunity to learn other alternatives, how to make briquettes, how to make other things. And also the solar, we also have an opportunity of wind, how to generate power from wind. Other countries are already thriving on that. So a call to action. The future is upon us. The future for our generations to come is upon us. So we must save this environment through embracing renewable energies. We can begin small. Begin with having a clean cooking stove at home to save yourself from using a lot of firewood. Briquettes are affordable. You can access them. Start by that. Embrace using electricity if you have it. That's how we can transform into renewables. The awareness, it's all upon us, especially you, the young generation. Go out and dispense this knowledge through your small CBOs. The church is called upon. Pope Francis has already shown us the way through the Laudato Si document. The Laudato Si clubs are already doing something in schools. I was in Maryhill. Laudato Si is doing well. St. Mary's Chamuhunga in Bushenyi is doing very, very wonderful work in biodiversity conservation. So it comes back to us. It's not an imposed. We have a duty to maintain the 1.5 by stopping greenhouse gases first. Agriculture is another contributor to greenhouse gases. I also call upon the government to offer eco buy-ins to small and medium industries or to the large polluters. We call them polluters.
Yes.
And also to make those polluters pay, but also to incentivize some of the services so that they can invest in climate-related policies, because we need climate financing for these initiatives, for these ideas in renewable energies to grow and blossom.
Yes, thank you very much. And in 3 words, how would you say that we can have a just transition, Mr. Deo Oburye?
Thank you so much.
In 3 words.
In 3 words.
Yes.
It takes personal responsibility, personal integrity, so that the Mother Earth can take care of you, the children, the youth, the elderly. You are still living. So please be responsible, dispose waste where it is supposed to be. You know that it is Mother Earth to feed you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Indeed, we've dived a lot into how best we can increase access, what's there for the clean energy transition and climate transition. And I conclude with the quote that the fossil fuel promise, the fossil fuel energy is no longer a promise but a fact. And thank you for staying tuned this evening together with these interesting gentlemen. And I believe that we have learned a lot, and this is a call to action. It's just not speech. It's just not a dialogue. That's why we are here every week talking about the environment right here on the Environment Dialogue on UCTV. So stay tuned and goodbye.
UCTV. Good news for all.